Blueberries! Sweet!
On any given Tuesday night, there are thousands of fans in New York City, but this fan is special. It's part of a great big mission that includes Juneau, Alaska, Los Angeles, California, James, and this bench. Oh, and one more thing.
Check, check.
Welcome into, is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome into the live stream. McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
All day long.
All day.
How we doing, man?
I'm good. Good. It's been a day. Been a full day.
Hey, I was going to say, you got any money I can
No,
borrow today?
no, it's gone. It's all gone.
You set a PR, an adult PR today.
Yeah, no, it's all gone.
I was thinking about, making a down payment on a vacation home or something.
Yeah, no,
No?
probably could have helped you earlier this morning. Not now. Woo! Welcome into the stream. We're going to talk about some stuff. It's also a Make It Rain Thursday. We're working on some cool things on this show. So we got got some stuff happening. I'm like fired up about it.
We got some stuff in the oven that's going to be legendary.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be cool. I'm pretty pumped about
it. Oven.
It's in the oven. It's in the oven. It's not ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah, not ready yet.
You couldn't pull it out yet.
No, but I'm itching to.
Yeah, for sure.
It's exciting to talk about. So.
It's that deal where you can't leave the kitchen because you keep smelling what's in the oven.
Yeah. It's kind of like, knowing when somebody hurt and you just can't tell everybody. Or knowing when somebody's getting a job and you just can't tell everybody. It's kind of one of those deals.
Yeah. Or you can kind of know when you think someone's probably getting a job and you sort of hint at it over and over to the point that everyone figures it out.
And they still, people still question you, like, okay.
Yeah, it's like stuff could happen, but as of today, yeah,
so stuff could happen.
Yeah.
But just letting you know.
Yeah.
Wink,
all right.
wink.
So we got stuff. We'll get our audio started here. We'll get rolling. Thanks to everybody for being with us Thursday afternoon. Don't forget, if you're in the stream, Pete Deweese, Pete's Pigskin Preview at 2 o'clock.
Good this week?
No, not 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. He's really good. Whole lot of Ole Miss, Kentucky from last week.
Yeah.
And some Vanderbilt, Alabama from a couple weeks ago in
Tuscaloosa. It was just a massive defensive performance by the Commodores on film.
They try some stuff. Schematically, they
no, it's not. It has nothing to do with schematics.
Yeah, actually, when you watch the Alabama Vanderbilt film a little bit, you realize. It's
all about horses, Holmes.
Yeah, it's the duh thing I'm about to say. I get it, but the absolute critical nature of having speed.
Yeah,
Vandy does some stuff.
It helps if you can run on the back end for sure.
Yeah, Vanderbilt did some things that were really creative and smart. Alabama just beat it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't because. Look, at the end of the Derek Mason administration era, whatever, at Vanderbilt, not only were they not very good, they weren't very well coached.
They were very political, so the administration part was probably pretty accurate.
But Clark and them are doing a good job.
No, he's a good coach.
You can tell they're doing – schematically, some of the stuff they did offensively against Alabama early in the game was really well drawn up.
No, it is. It's but unfortunately, the game's not played on a chalkboard.
They just don't have players, yeah.
That's correct. You about ready, man? Because I am. It's Thursday. It's been a long week.
Yep.
And I am fiending for the great American medicine right here.
All right, here we go. About to get started. Welcome into another edition of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. Always good to have you guys with us here as I kind of fix my screen a little. It's Thursday afternoon. We've made it almost to the end of the week. For me, Thursday is basically Friday, and so I get to this point of the week, and I'm just kind of ready to roll.
Yeah, same. Most of our Quick U clients are getting ready for games or visits on Friday, so Thursday is kind of the end of the week for those guys. But Thursday is a bear now.
Thursday's a bear.
Thursday's a bear. You got to finish up cuts and calling coaches and getting film in, and it's a.
Who's your latest client?
Latest will probably Kansas State. Everybody kind of shuts down, I guess, until January, and we'll reload. Or really late December, January is when we'll start selling back new teams again.
Gotcha.
And the fun part about what we do is there'll also be a bunch of coaching changes, and so when this guy leaves here and goes there and all that stuff, it's kind of helps us spread the product because they got to have it. Once you start on it, it's like you got to have it. So. Looking forward to a fun year this year. Real busy. We'll be growing a lot.
Yeah.
Got to find some. Need a bigger boat. Got to get a bigger office.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're out of space. So that's a good problem to have.
That is a good problem.
I got a plan. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's office space. This show brought to you twice a week. Who knows where we're going? Maybe it'll be more than twice a week soon. But it's brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel. To learn more today, it's a Dragon Thursday. It's just a Dragon Thursday. It's the Red Dragon. I love a lot of the. I love. There's only a couple.
It's okay, you can say it because I told Bob today.
There's only. Oh, you did?
I did.
There's a couple that I'm not just nuts about, but this one, it's a home run every time.
That's hard to beat right there. By the way,
what was his response to your critique on the other?
Well, we were laughing about my comment on Monday. I don't want to repeat it because I don't need us to get banned from YouTube.
No, you don't.
He thought that was very funny. So, I really don't care what YouTube thinks as long as the guy that's sponsoring the podcast likes it. That's the only thing that matters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but here we go. My man Bob is making a special appearance in Oxford, Mississippi next week.
I know.
So he's coming in, and during the day, I think it's Wednesday. I don't remember if it's Wednesday or Thursday during the day. He's going around to every store in Oxford and making sure that they pick up the Rain production here in the local area.
Hell yeah.
Because so he's personally going to try to help everybody out in the local areas. He'll be in Memphis to start with, I think, on Wednesday. So we got the Memphis crew taken care of. He's going to be they have to pick up they're running out of rain in the Mid-South. So that's a good thing. Always a good thing. So he's back from Cancun. He went to Cancun for a week. He's been to like Cincinnati and somewhere else. I think he was in Cincinnati today. So
I love Cincinnati.
It's a good spot.
Cincinnati's a cool town.
Yep.
It is. Seriously, I like it a lot.
Oh, we got a super chat. TCU -7 is the lock of the week.
Holden has TCU not just destroying Cinderella, but just he's making it the lock. Wayback wants to know what stores in Oxford carry Rain.
Kroger. So this is funny, too, because I told Bob I went to grocery shopping on Sunday, and then Kroger here in Oxford, the only thing they had left of Rain, they had 2 4-packs of white gummy bear when I went.
Which is solid. I like white gummy bear.
They only had 2 packs left.
Yeah.
And so
they used to have a bunch. No joke. Yeah. I mean, before this show, you could find it everywhere. And now it's gone, which is thanks to all you guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys did it. And I continue to do it. But he said the gas stations will be the first thing that runs out of Rain, which they have. It's hard. You can't find a Rain at a gas station in Oxford anymore. I mean, they're just, those slots are there. They're empty, and it's just how it is, which is a good thing to have, good problem. But he said that because of our audience, when you're dealing with males, very few males shop for drinks in grocery stores. He was throwing a whole stat out there to me.
Yeah.
The demographic shops more at gas stations than they do at grocery stores. So I said that's why grocery stores will be the last place to run out of, and it's
first place to run out.
Yes, the first gas stations will be the first place to run out of either Rain, Monster, and all the stuff they have because of the demographic. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
So
podcast advertising works incredibly well with men as opposed to women.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not even close. Now, a lot of men buy things for women, and so people who have
Valentine's Days, those kind of things.
People have those kind. Yeah, well, I mean, we've had success with jewelry.
Yeah.
A couple times. We have a jewelry advertiser now, and we had one that was that customized jewelry stuff, and one of a big what's the sheets? They make sheets and bedding and pillows. I can't. They're based in Tennessee. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, they do a lot of podcast advertising because men will buy pillows and sheets and stuff for their significant others.
Yeah.
As a gift.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's going to drive me nuts. I can't think of it.
Yeah. I have nothing for you on that. I forget a lot of things, much less that has no chance.
Avery says she's offended. I don't mean to offend. We're just having a conversation.
I was talking about my household person. I said I went to the grocery store on Sunday. I mean, I said that. I mean, I'm just telling you what the stats say. I can't. I mean, don't argue with the book. It's analytics. I'm just joking.
It's like on the tip of my tongue too. The name of the the name of the business. I'm going to have to look it up here in a second while we're talking.
Somebody says it was Hera. Is that one?
No, it wasn't that. All right, let's start talking about quarterback injuries, which is the story of week 6.
I think it's going to be.
Boll and Branch. Yes, thank you, Avery. Boll and Branch. Boll and Branch
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they do a lot of podcast advertising. Boll and Branch, if you'd like to advertise on this podcast, I can get in touch with people. We can do things.
I got you, Boll and Branch.
But yeah, they have really good product. They do a lot of podcast advertising.
Gotcha. No, I think it's going to be the story of week 6. I think it's going to have major impact. It's already having impact on lines. We can go ahead and start with, because they got 2 quarterbacks out. The first one I wrote down was Bryce Young and Max Johnson. Reading between the lines, I don't think Max Johnson goes. I think Haynes King will be the guy that goes for Texas A&M.
Hold on, I need to call my bookie. Alabama, whatever, minus whatever.
Yeah.
What do you got? Yeah, just lay him. Yep.
Yeah.
How
I don't know if
just all of it.
I don't think he goes.
And then all of Tyler's money too.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. Do you think that line, all kidding aside, the line's at 24, hasn't really moved a whole lot? And I don't think Bryce Young's playing either. I could be dead wrong.
So here's what I've thought. Now you got to be careful here, right? Because you just never know, and you're guessing.
And I'm reading between the lines on the press conference. Is what I'm doing.
The way that the line stuck at 24 made me think that Bryce was going to play.
So, very interesting to me. I watched Nick's press conference yesterday after practice, Wednesday. And he said, what should have been the first one of the questions coming out of the reporter's mouth?
What's Bryce Young's status?
Was never asked. And that's very unusual because of the national media that covers there and all that stuff. But the questions were more about Milroe's leadership capabilities. How is he taking over the team? How is the team gravitating to him? And does that make sense? Like it felt to me like they were told not to ask about it.
Yeah, but it doesn't work like that. I mean, it doesn't work like that.
Well, why wasn't the question asked? They didn't want to get. They didn't want to get.
Well, maybe because they
Wednesday?
probably because they just felt like they. This was on the teleconference, right?
Yeah. No. Yes, it was his after 6 o'clock.
Okay, so this was this deal with the local media.
Yeah.
Maybe those guys are tired of asking injury questions so that they can kind of get shot down. I was comparing it to the juxtaposition of Sam Pittman's, where Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, who's a good friend of mine, was delicate about it, but he got around to the KJ situation and actually got information, got answers that were interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute. But my guess is that if Nick's not going to give you the answer about injuries, you just stop asking. I don't ask Kiffin injury questions anymore. He's not going to answer them.
Yeah, and he went off. He was salty on Monday, so that may have something to do with it. I just thought it was fascinating that a lot of the questions were about Milroe's leadership abilities, how the team's taken to him. And I was like, what does it matter if Bryce is playing? And we said that. I said this. I've been vocal about it to my buddies and everything else. Look, this is not and we talked a little bit about it Monday. This is not it's not a shoulder sprain. Okay, so stop saying it's a shoulder sprain. I get it, and everybody's going whatever.
Yeah.
Can he play? Yeah, sure. He's going to get shot up, and he's going to have a chance to go. But is it going to affect what's happening? Sure, that's going to happen too. But dude, it's not. This is not just a bump and bruise. It's an issue.
If you're Nick and you think you can win this game without him, do you try to win the game without him, knowing that you go to Tennessee next week for a really difficult game in Knoxville?
I don't think Nick doesn't think like that. Nick doesn't even like. To be honest with you, the only time I've ever seen him, hey, we can go without the guy, is when we're playing like Tennessee, Chattanooga, or somebody like that.
Okay.
But any SEC game, and especially this one, look, he wants this one, and he wants it bad. Just hey. He wants this one, and he wants it really bad.
So if you told Nick he could have one of the next two, and that was all, when he got through being pissed off about not being able to have both, he'd pick this one.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
He doesn't want to lose to Jimbo 2 years in a row.
No. And
Jimbo, because Jimbo said a lot of stuff back in the spring. I mean, we can all pretend that it didn't get said, or that everything's been glossed over, or that Greg Sankey made him kiss and make up. But Jimbo said stuff that it's hard to take back.
I've been a part of this one. Like when I took the job at Alabama, so I took it in like March.
Yeah.
The year before they had lost to Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M in Tuscaloosa. Okay, they won a national championship, but that was their loss that year.
Yep.
Nick Saban watched at least 2 hours of Texas A&M film every single day. Like we put recruits on his computer, and guess what else we put? He had Texas A&M film. I have never seen a coach in my life watch as much game film on one opponent as he did on Texas A&M. Not one coach, any stop, never even heard of it. But this is not a joke. The guy literally watched Texas A&M every single day, and that was in March. I mean, there's no telling what had happened before then, and
yeah.
I mean, this is one of them games, man. I'm just trying to tell everybody.
I know.
I'm just trying to tell you.
Well, I mean, I remember when Jimbo said those things, and you're like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Stop!
Don't poke the bear. It doesn't need. Now, on the contrary, I thought one of the most interesting things that he ever said was
he being Saban,
Nick Saban, in a staff meeting one time. So, matter of fact, it was like we were talking about. We were playing Ole Miss, and we were playing them here, and it was one of the crazy. I mean, it was weird. He was like
16.
Hey, no, it was the year that the goalpost game down
14.
Here, 14.
Mm-hmm.
In a meeting, he goes, "Hey, look, we got to have a plan how we're going to handle our kids if we win, but we also got to have a plan for our kids if we lose this game."
Oh.
And I said, excuse me? Because nobody even thought about it in the building, right? And he knew. I mean, he's got and contrary to popular belief, when you do actually lose a game, and I've been there, I guess that one, lost the kick six game. So I lost, 2 games I was there that wasn't at the end of the season. He's the best ever after a loss. You think he's going to be fire and brimstone and all that? No, he's great after a loss. Now, after a win and you're playing somebody you're supposed to beat, like the next week, it's a rough week. But he handles that stuff. He's the best for a reason, right? So,
because you guys at the time, y'all stumbled the week after that Ole Miss game. I mean, you won. Did y'all play Arkansas?
Beat Arkansas like 14-13. That
Up
was the
there,
one
right?
Fayetteville, yeah.
Yeah, it was I remember that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I remember that game.
Yeah. Don't you love when you get phone calls from people that know that? I mean, they know what you're doing right
Let's
now.
talk about it. Who was it? Let's just rip them apart right now on a Thursday.
You want me to do that one?
Nah, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
But they know what I'm doing right now.
Well, maybe it's important.
Only if she calls back. Maybe.
Now you just outed her.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't going to do that.
Maybe if we got to get an $8,000 bid on getting a tree cut down, maybe that's what it is. Jeez. All right.
Aaron Tyler's really concerned about the cost of this tree. I'm just going to let you know that, and
it's unnecessary.
We need to have a conversation.
Unnecessary. It's just, I might as well just blow it down the street. They might as well put it all on the Arkansas money line last week.
So you don't think Bryce is playing? You don't think Max is playing?
If you just put a gun to my head, I would say no and no.
All right. What about KJ Jefferson? Sam Pittman had some interesting things to say last night.
I think he plays.
This
is all I don't know. First of all,
I don't.
Everybody knows that. I'm not telling, but
I don't. I mean, well, I'm super connected to the Arkansas program. I don't know if you know that. I get that a lot.
I've never heard that before. Only reason is with.
I can tell you that the Arkansas kicker was watching TikToks earlier this week during his business class.
That's good.
There you go. That is inside information. Take that.
With all of the there has been, which is interesting since we're talking about quarterback injuries, there's been a lot of knee-jerk reactions to the Tua deal. Anybody that has a headache's in concussion protocol this week.
Yeah.
And
well, Pittman was very careful to consistently – I know.
But that's why.
But he was careful to say, I didn't say that he's in protocol. And he didn't say he wasn't in protocol. But he's been careful to kind of cover that ground a little bit. And his rule is you have to do some sort of team activity by Wednesday to travel. Because they'll fly to – where will they stay? Columbus? They'll probably stay in Tupelo, Arkansas.
Yes.
They'll stay in Tupelo on Friday night. his rules. I'll go over there tomorrow night and hang out with the team.
Yeah.
And,
Drink a couple beers or something.
Yeah, me and Sam, everybody will get together. All he said yesterday, Tom Murphy asked, is, I don't know how the question was, and Pittman says, I know you guys think that I'm misleading you or whatever, and Tom was like, no, I'm just kind of asking, and he said he did some team activity, which means that he will be on the plane. Yeah. And that's all I know, and I thought to myself, well, but I know how this works. If you know he's not playing.
You go ahead and say it.
Not only that, he doesn't travel because you only have a certain number of travel spots. You don't want to eat that up with a guy who's not going to play.
You may eat it up with him, though, being a captain, a leader, and all that stuff. We've done that before. You don't want to make a precedent doing it, but you will make special, exceptions to that.
And he's a Mississippi kid. Look, if KJ doesn't play against Mississippi State and Ole Miss, he's hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he plays, man. I don't know why I feel that way, but I think with all the stuff going on right now, he'd be fine.
All right, Texas and Oklahoma have quarterback issues. Dillon Gabriel, I'm hearing rumblings out of Oklahoma that he's not going to play.
I think Dillon Gabriel will not play.
What about Quinn Ewers? I'm kind of hearing he might.
I think he will play.
Yeah, I love Texas over OU Saturday.
I normally would be all over Texas right here. This game, man, is just one of the weirdest games of all time. There's weeks or seasons that you would think one's going to beat the other, and it goes total opposite.
When we take our show on the road, this is one that I want to go to.
Yeah, we could go Saturday if you want to go.
It's a little late now.
Yeah, I actually had offered tickets to that game.
You should have gone
by the Oklahoma coaching staff. Dude,
you got stuff.
I got stuff.
All right, Jayden Daniels at LSU. Now I need to know this one because I'm pretty big on this LSU Tennessee game. But if he's not going to play, I need to call my bookie back and go heavy.
I think he is playing.
I do too.
Again, reading between the lines here, Brian Kelly said there's a difference between being injured and hurt, and I was like, ooh. And he said injured. What do you say? Injured, we allow our medical staff to do everything. Hurt, they can give you whatever you need to make you feel better. I was like, oh, okay. But it was enough that he came out of the game of a close game and didn't go back in. That's weird to me. I don't know. Questions toughness if that's the problem.
And then a guy that I don't think you can question his toughness because he broke a finger pretty bad, had it snap back in. He got hit. Look, be careful here because I don't want to make everybody mad.
That's okay. I will. What are you going to say?
The A.J. Finley hit, I mean, it was targeting. It wasn't A.J.'s fault. But by the letter of the letter of the law, it was targeting. If you told me that he either has some concussion stuff or just doesn't feel so good, I'd buy it.
Right.
And so, but my guess is that Levis plays, but the way that line has moved makes me think that someone in Vegas believes that Will Levis is not playing.
Hey, by the way, speaking of, my wife really didn't need anything. Just let me know that I had to spend another $500. So I'm joining I am part of your family now. It's official. I'm spending another $500.
What are you spending it
on? Insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. It's like, she only calls me if she's mad at me or I have to spend money. She just never says I love you. I'm joking. She's great. I'm joking. We've been around a long time. But yeah, Will Levis. Here's the concerning part.
You could express your love for Aaron right here on the show. Like do it. We could play some music behind it or something.
Yeah. I could do that. I could sing too. I sang at our wedding.
Did you really?
I did.
And she still married you?
It was too late.
Yeah,
she'd already done it.
Yeah, she had the dress and everything. Yeah.
Now, if I'd done it at the rehearsal dinner, it may have been a little different, but I did it at the reception, so it was too late. But Will Levis, the interesting thing here is how much the line moved. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like overnight.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Points.
Somebody in Vegas knows something.
Because do you know how much money it takes to move a line 5 points?
Well, a lot. Or someone gets some inside information and moves it before the money can come in. That happens too.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's interesting. But look, that's a tough dude now. If anybody can go, he'll go.
Yeah.
So as long as it's something if it's a pain thing, he'll go. If it's the doctor taking your helmet away, he probably can't. But
We're also brought to you each and every show by Walk On Sports Bistro. They put everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Check them out today in Oxford or Ridgeland. They can also take care of all your tailgating needs. Inquire today about their family and friends bundles, their tailgate platters. Order online at walkons.com or download their convenient Walk-Ons app.
A little walk-ons night for me tomorrow night. I'll spend more money.
Oh, that's right. You got Oxford home game?
Oxford home game. They play Germantown, maybe?
Oh, yeah?
I think that's right.
What's the playoff situation for the Chargers?
No idea.
Okay.
They got beat pretty bad last week. Tupelo's got a team now.
That's what I've heard. Heard Tupelo's really good.
They got some dudes. They've done they're good. But
that's a heated little rivalry too.
Yeah.
Tupelo doesn't like Oxford.
No, they don't.
Like when Tupelo and Oxford play soccer, gets a little. I'm serious, totally serious. It gets a little nasty. A lot of chatting.
A lot of chatting.
A lot of chatting.
We'll get some elbows.
And some of the kids know each other too, so it gets a little.
Yeah, because doesn't Carson go practice over there?
Yeah, he plays on a club team over there. So
does he play with Tupelo kids?
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them that start varsity.
So that's one thing that was great about baseball. If you ever didn't like somebody, and you just always stick one in their ear back in the good old days.
Yeah.
Now you get in trouble for that now.
Yeah.
Getting
Still
soft.
happens.
Getting soft though.
Still happens.
Yeah.
People throw at people.
Absolutely. Did you ever? What position did you play in baseball?
Mostly catcher.
Okay. Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty as charged. I've done it more than I would like to admit. If you're getting squeezed at home plate, your pitcher's getting squeezed, have you ever called for the old fastball and not catching on purpose?
Maybe.
I've done that more than I would like to admit.
I would typically be more diplomatic.
I tried diplomacy at first.
I would point out that you're missing. I would tell him where he was missing. And then I would never let my pitcher show him up because that's the end. If my pitcher was acting crazy, I would go out to the mound and be like, "Look, I'm trying to handle this here. You're not helping anything by screaming and yelling at him. So chill out. Let me deal with this." And I usually was pretty good about it. Like what I learned, and we'll get off this quickly. What I learned was if you just told him, "Hey, you're missing everything," he's going to keep missing everything. But if you say, "Hey, take a little closer look on this outside corner," because a lot of times amateur umpires would set up. If it was a right-handed hitter, he'd set up between the hitter and me.
Yep, left shoulder.
And so I knew he was there. And if I was catching a ball on the outside corner, he'd miss it because from his frame of reference, it looked outside. And so I would say is, "Hey, I think if you take a little closer look at that, if you moved a little, centered yourself a little bit, you might see that was a strike." But I would never do it where anybody could hear it, and I would never do it where anybody could see that I was talking to him. And then you'd start to get calls. The whole getting upset at an umpire, my experience was they just got more upset.
I used to get upset, now that we got all these robot umpires and everything else, and everybody's, strike zone conscious, but I was set up outside the plate, but if my pitcher's hitting the spots, I expect to get the call.
Yeah. If
he's not hitting spots, it doesn't matter. Like I'm on baseball team that if I could be set up outside, and if he leaves it back inside, even though it's a strike, don't call it a strike.
That's a hard job, though, like high school umpiring, because the pitchers are all over the place. And so it's one thing when a guy's hitting in zones and he's hitting the mitt and stuff, and you start getting calls, but that's all over the place.
All right, you want to talk about these transfer windows?
Yeah. NCAA does another good thing.
I mean, I'm starting to get a little – is optimism the right word?
Don't be optimistic. Just be hopeful.
That's 2 in a row. One more, we call that a streak. The NCAA has listened to the people inside the building, and I think they must listen to our podcast.
They do, for sure.
But when you actually run rules and run things by people who are actually inside the building and know what's going on, you can make the rules good for everybody. So what they did is the proposed spring transfer window was basically May 1st to the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And so they bumped it back to April 15th to the end of April. So those last 2 weeks in April. And here's why it's good. It's good for a few reasons. And the reason coaches wanted it was, one is 99.9% of colleges are done with spring practice or wrapping spring practice up.
By mid-April.
Yeah. And so the kid, and if you're a kid, you know by practice 7 after that first scrimmage if you are transferring or staying. I mean, there's nothing that the spring game's going to do for you. If you're staying or going. So you have time to, for the players' sake, they have time to, gives them more time to figure out where they want to go, in that May window instead of entering. But 2, from a coach's standpoint, I think it's really good for our coaches because the coaches are going to go spring recruiting that last week of April, first week of May. And May 1st, everybody's going through spring ball. Georgia and Florida, they don't even start spring practice till May. So a lot of schools really won't go spring recruiting until, May. Well, you don't want to be on the road somewhere and then find out that your receiver jumped in the portal and you're out and, you're in Dade County recruiting another kid, and then you got to get back on the plane and go deal with that. So getting everything out of the way before you go spring recruiting.
So the way this works is if you're going to get in the portal, you have to get in the portal by that last day.
By the end of April.
And then you have how long until you have – that gives you May to go take visits or whatever?
Yeah, May. You have to be in to be eligible the next season, and then basically you have May to figure out where you want to go so you can be in June classes.
Gotcha.
And if you wanted to get into a May intercession class, you could too. But usually the Tuesday after Memorial Day, that's when summer classes start.
So if you're not in the portal by the end of April and you jump in May, you're not eligible to play the next season.
For the new rules.
So now you just be a standard transfer.
Yeah, you'd be SOL.
Okay, I like that. That's smart.
Yeah, I'm good with that. The other thing that's good about it, and fans will not, nobody's going to talk about this, no reporter's going to talk about this because they don't understand it. It's going to make the tampering less. If you put that window, and this was the big concern of coaches, you put that window May 1st to the 15th. Do you know what I'm doing May 1st to the 15th? I'm in high schools all across America. And so, I'm there to talk about Neal McCready. But, hey, tell me about that Siskey boy. What's he that's over there at Georgia? Is he liking what he's doing?
Oh, yeah.
And so the tampering, in-person tampering that will never be proven, goes on and on and on and on and on. So, actually, by doing it April 15th to 30th, we'll actually cut some of that out because a lot of schools won't be on the road then. Oh. Some will, but not all.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty good by them.
You've been talking about this for a while, and I have too, and I think we're starting to hear some conversations about it. NIL, when it first got started, it was the wild, wild west. Just throw the money, make it rain. The other kind of rain. Kind of changing a little, the market correcting itself a little bit. You were talking to somebody. I don't want to take it away from you, so I'm gonna hand it to you. Some of the guys with the big bags of cash slowing down a little, not necessarily getting that return on investment they thought they'd get. And they're not going to do this every single year.
Yeah, so there's a lot of this going around right now, and it was a pretty interesting term. Was called collective fatigue. I was like, oh. So it's basically what's happening is these guys that are giving all this money, universities they don't have unlimited amounts of people willing to donate $1 million or $2 million a year. And so when NIL started, they went out to all those people and all those people gave the money. Well, now they're going like, hey, what? And this conversation has come up. I don't want to say what school, but was asked to donate money for a kid for next year. And it was like $2 million was the number.
You're not talking about ULM, are you? Because
I wasn't supposed to tell anybody.
They asked me, and I was like, I just gave you $2 million. Why do you want $2 million more?
They got to improve their water ski team.
I asked for it to go across the board.
You wanted a rodeo team to take care?
I did want to do well in rodeo.
All right, but basically the guy said, why am I going to give $2 million again? And the guy that I gave $2 million last year is not even playing. Exactly what we've been talking about for however long this has been going on. But here's the problem is these collectives asking people to donate to the collective, big money people. is not a great model. It's not survivable. You can't go to the same people every single year. And they're not seeing return on their investment. And that's where my good friend at Park Avenue, Jeff Hoffman, but that's where he actually kind of led into it. Started his Park Avenue company that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, but they got their first deal done through that deal for South Carolina through Saks, the underwear company. And it's pretty interesting how it works. One, we talked about the general, but let's talk about the deal. Every kid, and it's put in, and I've seen the deal, so I know what it looks like. It's pretty cool. Like, they cover the language in there is they have I think it's 6 athletes on the team that are carrying doing the branding. So they're going to be doing a social media deal release. They're going to be at like some party released in November, and they're getting cash. Okay, so they're getting the money. However, every student athlete at South Carolina is going to get $1,000, but it's very specific. It says if they participate in the social media push. So if you go and do social media, then you get $1,000. If you don't, then you don't. And so it takes care of the pay-for-play rules with the NCAA, and is really smart when it comes to that.
You ever tried the Saks underwear?
I have not. I bet I know somebody that could probably get me a pair, though.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so but here's the thing. They
got the ballpark pouch.
Yeah. And it's now Saks is going to be covering the cocks.
Yeah.
That's going to be
it's a scientifically engineered pouch that secures in the most comfortable thing in the world. It's a hammock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of comfort. I think of hammocks.
I mean, a hammock is a comfortable thing.
It is.
On a nice, cool afternoon, kind of take a little nap in a hammock.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. But here's the deal: is they're also giving back.
And by the way, YouTube, Gamecocks. They're gonna be covering the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
That's a team mascot for the University of South Carolina.
I got to get him hooked up with my man Summerall, the Troy State Trojans.
So before you just Trojans is also a mascot. YouTube.
I said Troy State, but it's Troy.
They are a mascot.
Yeah,
referring to like USC, those Trojans.
Yeah, but they're giving the other things are giving money back to charity. As part of the deal, and so it's everybody wins, man. It's a win-win, and it's a legit NIL deal, and that's where things are going because the collectives are, like I said, they're going to be in more and more trouble of getting the bigger booster to give the bigger deal. It's not going to happen every year. So your payroll is going to be shuffling year to year.
I think it all settles down here in the next year or two.
He said
the whole $15 million a year in payroll and stuff is not realistic. It's not.
Yeah, it's like when you're a kid and your parents you get like a bunch of money for your birthday, and it's gone within 6 weeks, and all you spent on it was gummy bears and bubble gum. You have nothing to show for it. That's what we're going through.
Yeah,
I think so. That is, and then we'll get back to the black market before all said and done.
Oh, you think so?
We'll see.
Okay. Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with the challenge in life. But when you learn to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts. It was a life changer for me. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, it's affordable, it's entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. All right, you about ready to?
Are you talking about what it's time for?
I think it's time. I do. I think it's that time. I can feel it.
The road to Boise
Yes, sir.
is about to continue, and I want to go on record.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent an inordinate amount of time this week. I'm back. I practiced hard. I've studied. I've used logic in my picks. I took what happened last week personal. I'm not going to make you the Florida promise. I'm going to make you the Quick U promise.
Yep.
What happened last week will never happen again, and I can promise you I will come prepared, and that is not going to happen, and we will not lose another game. Oh, excuse me, another week.
I was going to say.
We'll lose another game.
You're going to lose another game.
Yeah,
here
I'm coming in hot, man. I'm ready to go.
Right.
I've studied, and if I lose this week, my confidence will be shook, so I'm going to be ready to go.
If I win this week, on the other hand,
I'm going to talk so much shit.
I'm going to probably start to feel like I am a team of destiny because I am not as prepared this week as I was a week ago. There's been stuff happening. It's been distractions. My producer at MPW Digital, who helps with a lot of my videos, she got sick.
How's she doing, by the way? Good?
Well, she's gone from having food poisoning to now having pink eye. So she's had a shitty week.
I hope you feel better.
Hope you're feeling better, Caroline. So I had to produce most of my shows myself.
Okay.
And which is fine. Just took more time
Yep.
away from what I was trying to do. And so I've just been busy. That's okay. No excuses. We don't make excuses here. Not on Team Neal. No excuses.
Grind has already turned against me. I mean, Grind's on Team Neal. That's some bullshit.
Oh, wow.
That's bullshit.
If I've got Grind on my team.
I mean, I don't know.
See? You can feel the momentum.
That's okay.
Chugga.
Hey, we're all fair weather fans. As long as we're winning, hey, we have one bad week. Ooh.
All right, where do you want to start? You want to start in the NFL?
Let's do NFL first, and then we're going to finish up with college.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun,
Right.
dun, dun, dun.
When you were a kid, how much did you you're a little younger than me. I still remember Sunday mornings when the NFL Today would come on
Oh, that was the show.
at 11:30, and it was Brent Musburger, and he would say they would open the shot with the shot of a stadium. Usually it was like Soldier Field or Cowboys Stadium or Texas Stadium is what it's called at the time in Irving, or I'm trying to think the ones that were pretty common. Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
I remember the Eagles Bears
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
playoff game in the fog.
In the fog.
Yeah.
But he would open. I was a kid at the time, and he would open with "You are looking live," and I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
it is another day of NFL," and I would be so geeked up.
He had a great run until he creeped on my man AJ's wife, and then that was all downhill from there.
It did kind
That's
of.
where it started.
That's when it did start.
Yeah, it all went downhill from there. So,
Did you and AJ ever talk about that?
you know what? I mean, I'm sure we have.
He probably didn't really care.
He didn't know about it. I mean, I think it was until it was well after the game. I remember us talking about that. But Catherine's cool, man. She is cool. Like she lets him, like, he's got it made now. He's living his best life. I mean, dude, like, we go play golf while I was waiting on I almost want to say thank you, NCAA. My IAWP to come to Ole Miss from South Alabama was a nightmare. It took forever. I think it was the NCAA giving one more shot in the butt. It was funny that the day after signing day is when they approved me. So I don't know, like, and I've told you this.
I remember this. You couldn't come over here.
I don't know when you knew, but I took the job like Sunday or Monday after signing day. I mean, after the last game, like after Matt got the job. So we're going like 2 months or whatever. So I'm just sitting in Mobile, just chilling, trying to help as much as I can legally from the house. But every day, dude. So every day, because he's home in the off season, we go play golf every day. Take kids to school, go play golf, go work out, go play golf, go pick the kids up every day. And then we'd go over to his house and play. If we were playing on that side of the bay, because he lives in the Mobile side, go to his house and he'd go iRacing for a couple hours at nighttime. I mean, I was like, dude, my wife would kick my ass. I couldn't get away with it. But yeah, he runs his shack, man. He's but no,
that?
Catherine's cool. She's a cool girl. She's real nice.
All right, so but he would go. You are looking live, and I
You
was
are
like,
looking live.
I'm like, you are looking live at Soldier Field. And I'll be like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And it was him and Irv Cross and Phyllis George and Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah,
and that was Sunday
it.
morning, and then it launched into noon, and then of course at noon we got the Saints, and the Saints were awful.
I was Falcon. I got the Falcons every.
Yeah, we didn't get Falcons. We got Saints and Cowboys.
Yeah, we got Falcons and I think Falcons and I guess Cowboys. I don't remember. I know it was the Falcons.
All right, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean I lost, right? So I go first this week.
Okay, sure.
Is that how you want to do it?
Whatever you want to do.
All right, my first NFL pick, and this is going to tell you right where I'm going. I studied. I'm ready to go. The Lions are at the Patriots.
Oh,
The Patriots are 3-point favorites, but that's not where I'm going, Neal.
really?
I'm taking the Detroit Lions
Oh my!
and the Patriots over 45.5.
Oh,
The Lions have gone over every single game this week. I mean, this year, and it hasn't even been close. So I'm taking because they actually can score points. Even last week when they didn't have their players, they scored points. They do score points, and they can't stop a nosebleed. Mac Jones may try to go actually this weekend. I don't know, but he's definitely going to try to go. It doesn't matter. I like the over 45.5 in that game.
well, since you started in Foxborough, I will stay there. Although I'm not going with the over/under. I really like this game. The Lions are just egregious on defense. I will take the New England Patriots. I will lay what is, let's see, as of this moment, 3.5 points.
I got it 3. Go ahead. I'll give you 3.
All right, I'll take the half point. I'll take New England minus the 3 at home against America's darling, but still bad team, Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they're terrible on defense, but they score points, man. So they've been over.
And Hutchinson got hurt. I don't know if he's going to go. So
Yeah, over. Let's go. I'm with you.
okay,
I mean, let's score points. That's all I care about.
all right,
All right, I'm going back to the well again.
okay.
The New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Aints
Oh,
are at home.
they are.
And somehow, some way, they are 5.5-point favorites.
That line's actually moved to 6. We'll go with 5.5 because that's when you did your picks. But yeah, that line's jumped.
So you're not. I gave you a half point. You're not going to give me a half point.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll give you half point.
I mean,
Sure, 6.
y'all see how he's doing this. He's trying to y'all see my man. He's already over here, pencil whipping me. All right, you'll give me the 6.
Yep.
All right, so we're even. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks plus 6 in New Orleans. I mean, I don't like this bet. Are there any reason that I think the Aints are terrible? And I think Seattle is terrible. I think they're both terrible football teams. But you can't give me 6 points with 2 terrible football teams. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks plus 6.
I actually really like that pick. I did not have it on my list, but I do like it. I don't like New Orleans at all, and Seattle is playing looser and freer these days with no Russell Wilson. It's like they enjoy Russell being gone.
Well, more people get the ball. I mean, it's getting better by distribution.
A minute ago, I talked about the Cowboys. So, we get to see the Cowboys a lot. My neck of the woods when I was a kid in Ruston. Everybody loved the Cowboys. I did not love the Cowboys. I don't know whether I didn't love them because everybody else did, or if I didn't love them because there was something about them that I didn't like. I liked the Oilers, so I didn't like the Cowboys. But I'm liking them this week. Cowboys head to Los Angeles to play the Rams. The Rams are struggling with pass protection. The Cowboys are very good at getting after the passer. I don't really care whether Dak comes back this week or not. I don't know that it matters. I'm getting 5.5 points. Let me see what the latest line is. Make sure.
I check it's 5.5.
5.5. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys and 5.5 points on the road against the defending Super Bowl champs.
Neal.
Yes, sir.
Nice bet. Because my third pick is the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Plus 5.5 against the Rams. I mean, dude, look, the Rams, they're struggling up front on offense. And this is not the team to be struggling up front against. The Cowboys will get after your ass at quarterback. And when Stafford doesn't have time, and you saw that Monday night,
yeah,
when you don't have time. I mean, that's why they were held to 9 points. I mean, he had no time. I mean, he was taking play action. He was trying to go play action, and it was interesting. I'm gonna get coaching geeky on you right here. The 49ers gave such a lack of respect to the running game that they took both defensive ends and they did what we call race technique, and they just raced up the field, basically saying they're giving away 2 guys in a box and saying we're still going to stop your run. And every time that he went to try to go play action, which is what they do, they're standing on top of his head. I think that's kind of a blueprint. Rams got some stuff they got to fix, and they got all these guys hurt. I'm loving the Cowboys plus 5.5.
All right, you got Cowboys as your third pick.
Yep.
Tua Tagovailoa not playing this week. Been a lot of talk about Tua. 2 of this, 2 of that.
Yep.
You know who is playing?
Yeah, my man Tyrod Taylor. And my man Wilson for the Jets.
You know who else is playing? Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy B.
Teddy B.
Who'd I say?
Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor.
He's wrong team. I'm thinking Teddy B.
Teddy Bridgewater's playing. He'll be fine. The Dolphins are going to be fine. Miami minus 3.5 at the Jets.
I looked at that one. I did not take it, though, but I looked at it. All right, my next pick.
Yep.
And I feel good about this pick because everybody, I think, is going to go the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Eagles are going into Arizona, and they're playing the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are 5-point favorites.
Yep.
Guess what, Neal?
Yep.
It's not enough. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles minus 5 on the road at the Arizona Cardinals. Now, you may ask, why would you do that?
No, I had this one written down as one I was going to go with. I won't go with it because I'll pick something else just for the show's sake. Arizona is terrible at home.
Do you know how terrible they are at home, Neal?
Incredibly terrible.
Do you realize that they have not won a home game since week 7 of last year?
I did not realize it had been that long, but
it's almost a calendar year that they have not won a home game.
It had been a minute.
It's almost been a calendar year. Now, why is that, you say? Why would they struggle at home? Because my man Kyler Murray is too busy playing Call of Duty up all night instead of focusing on the game plan. He's got too much time at home. They get him on the road. They get him confined. They probably don't let him take his Xbox on the road, whatever it is. Look,
are you being serious?
I'm actually being semi-serious, yes. This is not. I mean, I'm being funny, but I'm not being funny.
Okay, but if that's the case, then why did they give him the money that they gave him?
I didn't pay him. I don't know that. I have nothing for you. Look. Hoffman says it's double XP week all week on Call of Duty. Look, I'm loving it. Like, this guy's like a Call of Duty fiend.
Because I'm going to tell you who's not playing Call of Duty all week. Jalen Hurts.
Dude, like
he's locked in.
Dude, I'm liking it, man. And it's in Devontae doesn't like cold weather. It's gonna be in Arizona, man. I'm all in, man. I'm getting on the Eagles bandwagon because they got a lot of players that I like, but besides that, they're good. Look, it's a legit stat. He plays worse. They've looked this up. I've seen this before.
When Call of Duty has
I've seen this stat before. That's why I was half joking. I didn't know it was this week. That's a legit deal. Like, people have looked it up. When they have double points, he plays really bad.
Wow.
I mean,
all right. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm big on Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts has a shot to win MVP.
Yep. Represented by Jeff Hoffman.
Is that right?
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. I got a good one.
You think we can get Jalen on the show sometime?
We need to work on it. He's got Mac Jones too.
We probably get Mac on the show.
I'm sure we probably could. Jeff, I know you're listening, Jeff. That's your ass. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. A quarterback that is not having a good time so far this season is Justin Fields.
Okay. All right. I do have to say this. Did you see the tweets that I sent you one the other day? I sent you a tweet about how many balls he's completed or something.
I don't think I saw that.
I sent you one.
I don't. You're not the only person that sends me stuff.
Sends you bear tweets, bear tweets. Cooper Kupp. What is it? Somebody tell me. Somebody like Cooper Kupp's been somebody that's like completion has more receptions than Justin Fields has completions or something.
This Bears coaching staff and administration is not who traded up to draft Justin Fields. They don't like him. It's obvious. They don't believe in him. That is very obvious. They are going so conservative. They clearly don't think that he can go win games.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings are very good at home. They're not good on the road. They're very good at home. Maybe it has something to do with Call of Duty. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's a bunch of points in a division game, but I'm laying a Minnesota -7 against the Bears.
Yeah, he said Cooper Kupp has more catches than Fields has completions. That's terrible.
It's terrible.
Come on.
It's terrible. So I'm going to take Minnesota. I'm going to lay 7 points at home against the Chicago Bears.
All right. I got 2 to pick from for my last one here. Which ones are? I'll go opposite pod. Are you doing the Falcons Bucks game? Or are you doing the Cincy game?
I'm not doing Falcons. I thought really hard about Bengals +3 at Ravens, and I didn't.
Are you going to do it or no?
No, I'm not.
All right, so I don't. All right, just for entertainment purposes, because I'm really 50-50 on this one.
So you're going to give me an emotional hedge here. I'm going to let either my Bengals are going to win, or I'm going to feel great about.
No, I'm not going to do that game.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to do that game. I was going to leave it for you if you want to do it, because I know you're not doing this other one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at home, and they're playing.
Oh yeah, I thought about this.
They're playing the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
The Atlanta Falcons may be the worst team in the NFL. They're 2-2, and they've lost both games by like 1 or 2 points.
Okay.
Really haven't played anybody. But end of the day, they're getting 9 points at Tampa. It's a divisional game. Tom Brady is trying to figure out, is he going to collect alimony from Giselle? I mean, he's got there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Todd Bowles missed practice on Wednesday, the head coach, for personal reasons. You got Antonio Brown throwing shade, trying to get Giselle. You got all kinds of stuff going on in Tampa Bay right now. Now, this normally tells me that Tom Brady's pretty locked in, but dude, this is you can't ignore all this for so long. And they're not.
Of course not.
You got what's my man's name? Just retired. They brought back what's the receiver they brought back a couple weeks ago? Cole Beasley comes back and then retires 2 weeks later.
Yeah. And
in his tweet, as he's going away, he says, "I'm retiring to spend more time with my family and my kids." I'm like, dude, you've been here 2 weeks. There's something going on in Tampa Bay, and I've said it before. This is getting to Tom Brady. He doesn't look healthy, and I'm not talking about the way he's playing. Look at his body, man. I mean, he looks like he hadn't eaten in a month.
Yeah, his face looks like he's lost a lot of weight.
He looks like Skeletor, man.
Yeah.
It's scary. He's aged 1,000 years this year. I'm taking Atlanta +9, man.
It's clear Brady did not want to do this. And now he's in it, and he's stuck.
Yeah, and they've been terrible, man. I mean, they've been terrible. Was it last week against Green Bay? It's Kansas City they played. They got freaking hammered, and then they played Green Bay. And Green Bay, they have one drive. I mean, they've been terrible.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Falcons +9.
Okay. It's a good pick. I like it. All right, my last NFL pick of the week. I'm rolling the dice a little here. I don't know how big of a roll it is. They don't do as well when they fly across the country. But the San Francisco 49ers are really good on defense right now. And had a little more time for Jimmy G to get going. He looked good last week. They go against a Panthers team that there's rumors about Matt Rule and how much longer this can go, and getting a little caustic in Charlotte. I think the Niners stick a dagger in this week. I'm going to take San Francisco and lay the 6.5 in Charlotte against the Panthers.
They look good. What bothers me though is the 49ers put all of this, equity in the Trey Lance, and it looks so bad. And they make a change, and the guy that they had there the whole time makes them look like a football team again.
It just tells you something Lane Kiffin said the other day, a few weeks ago, but he's right. He's really right. He was talking about picking a quarterback, and you could tell that he was leaning towards Dart, but wasn't doing it yet. And he got pressed on it just a little bit with, whatever, and he said, look, there are guys at the NFL getting paid millions of dollars to pick the right one, and they don't.
Yeah.
And he's right. They make bad choices all the time. Mitch Trubisky.
Well, there was
Daniel
one draft.
Jones.
The one with, what was the draft with, what was a 14 draft, I think? 14 or 15 draft with Baker Mayfield. We're talking
Yeah.
about the quality starts you've
Yeah.
got out of that. I mean, it's insane.
Ryan Leaf,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield. I mean, the list goes on of quarterbacks where the league as a whole essentially agreed on a guy, and he busted.
Yep.
And so it's a really hard position to get nailed down. It's the reason why the Cowboys pay Dak Prescott what they pay. Is Dak an elite quarterback? No.
It's
But
solid,
he's-
though.
But he's solid
Yeah.
in a league where solid at least gives you a chance.
And and I'm not going to go on a big tangent on NFL quarterbacks here because we could be here a while, but I've said this for a long time now, really for about the last 5 or 6 years, because the college game has gotten so spready and the way college quarterbacks are taught to read, there's not a lot of quote-unquote pro-style quarterbacks that are being trained out there.
Right.
They're not, because they're not playing on Saturdays.
Right.
They're not
So
getting the
there's-
rep and development.
There's a learning curve.
There's a learning curve, and
It's hard.
And look, I love my guy to death, but AJ, the reason AJ stuck around for so long and the reason he still gets workouts is because he's like one of the last of the Mohicans, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you look why's Carson Wentz sticking around? Because he's the last of a Mohican.
Because he can read defenses.
You know, it's not saying that they're great, but they understand, what's going on.
Well, look at what's happening to Fields.
Yeah,
Look what's happening to Kyler Murray. Look, it's a bunch of these guys. Are these guys good quarterbacks? Of course they are. But there's so much at the college level that is one read. One read. You got one key. Here's where you go.
Yep. It's two safeties. I'm here. I'm high-low in this guy. If it's one safety, I'm stretching the flat coverage defender weak. It's not a
And
lot
you
of
get to the
rocket
NFL.
science.
You get to the NFL, and it's just more advanced. And the coordinators they trick you on a read. They take that read away. You have to go through a progression of reads.
Oh yeah,
quickly.
they do some stuff, and if you don't, you're going to be breathing out your ear hole.
Well, and you just watch, you watch the Bears, and Fields is lost. He's just lost. He doesn't know where he's going with the ball. It's not his fault. It just is what it is.
The biggest definition, I think, is
And in fairness to Justin Fields, right? You take a young quarterback, you go, hey, we're going to throw this really complex system at you, and we're going to give you a crappy offensive line. We're not going to give you any targets to throw to. We're not going to give you any playmakers who can go do it. We're going to absolutely wreck your career. So what you would love to see with the Justin Fields, who has all the arm talent and physical talent in the world, you'd love to see what would happen if you put him in a system where he's protected, where he's got a couple of receivers who can go make plays for him. Look at Jalen Hurts last year. Jalen Hurts last year looked kind of average. Average. He was fine. Not great. And now he's got weapons.
a few.
They're better up front. They're calling a better game for him.
Yeah.
And some bitch, he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Look at the Vikings. They have a really good scheme. Jefferson's a stud. Kirk Cousins looks serviceable.
Yeah. He's made a lot of money.
He looks serviceable right now. There's so much more to it than that, but yes, there's so many of these quarterbacks that are playing in these brilliant college systems. I cover one. Kiffin's a genius. But what was the knock on Corral? Hey, can't read. Can't read it. Got to be careful. And people at people, Ole Miss fans bristled at it, but it was legitimate NFL people saying it. That Kiffin simplified the game for him, which is a credit to Lane, right? I mean, you if you watch.
Oh, I went through it.
You've been.
I know his issues.
Yeah, if you watch the Ole Miss sideline, when you see Dart and them all look over, it's because Lane apparently is also an elite whistler.
Let me tell you something. Honest to goodness, I bet you Lane Kiffin can out-whistle any human being on the planet.
It is the damnedest thing. There'll be 100,000 people and his whistle pierces it. But he whistles and they look over and he basically tells them, here's what it is. You don't even have to read it. I read it for you.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. He does it here some.
Yeah.
At Alabama when he was calling plays every single play and we had Blake Sims at quarterback.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it was – you could be 50 yards away from him in a roaring road atmosphere, and it's piercing. I mean, he could get it. And I'm talking about could get it.
Yeah.
And he would make changes and to one route changes and stuff like that.
But to my point, that doesn't work in the NFL.
No.
Right. In the NFL, there's a play call in the helmet. You relay the call in the huddle. You go to the line, the helmet turns off. You've got you don't have time for him to whistle, for you to look over at the call. They don't do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so you're on your own. You've got to know.
Well, you're a professional too. You should.
You've got to know, and a lot of these guys just
don't.
They don't, and they seemingly some of them can't.
Yep. Did you finish your last pick?
Yeah, I'm through with NFL.
Right.
I have Cowboys plus 5.5 or 5. I have
5.5.
Patriots. 5.5. Patriots -3.
Mm-hmm.
Miami -3.5. Minnesota -7, and the Niners -6.5.
Just because somebody on your board brought it to my attention, I almost bet Cincinnati +3 against Baltimore because I have picked against Baltimore every week.
Oh,
so must not like Baltimore. But I got the Lions Patriots over 45.5. I have Seattle +5.5 at the Aints. I have the Falcons +9 at the Bucks. I have Dallas +5.5 as well at the Rams, and I have the Eagles -5 at the Cardinals. So that's
there you go.
That's my NFL.
All right.
It's fun time now.
All right. Before you do it,
Yep. Let's pay some bills.
Let's remind people that
Is it my favorite ad time?
Yeah.
Todd?
Yeah.
Todd didn't want to send me a reader this week?
Not yet. Todd's still trying to figure out just how simple he can make it.
He's like, oh, he's probably struggling.
He had one of the words had 2 syllables. And I was like, Todd,
Yeah.
he can't do that.
1 syllable Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his parents regret it.
Tyler is 2
Tyler,
syllables, and I struggle.
They just wish because he walked around as a child calling himself Lur.
Yeah. You know what I had a tough time as a kid?
What?
Saying sausage.
What'd you say?
Sausage. I mean, I'm talking about till I was like 14 years old, I think. I had a tough time.
How did you overcome it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. But yeah, sausage.
We're brought to you by Clean Side Wipes. It's the 2021 Safer Choice Partner of the Year award winner. It kills COVID in 30 seconds. It's the only one on the market that can do that. It's broad spectrum, hospital grade, antimicrobial efficacy, citric acid base, no harsh chemicals. It's a simple one-step, no rinse, cleaning and disinfecting. It removes film left over by harsh chemicals such as ammonia, bleach, and alcohol. Clean Side has the lowest toxicity rating allowable by the EPA. What does that mean, you wonder? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means it poses the lowest risk to the health of employees, patients, students, customers, or the environment. Again, it's citric acid-based. Clean Side germicidal wipes deliver powerful efficacy against pathogens without the potentially harmful effects of other chemical disinfectants, all in an easy-to-use wipe. It's great for schools, daycares, nurseries, hospitals, long-term care facilities, office buildings, households, and more. It's available in a wipe. It's also available in a ready-to-use spray. To get more, to learn about more, get in touch with our guy, Todd Abbott, at wipesandgloves@gmail.com. That's WIPES and AND, gloves, not the ampersand, at gmail.com.
Maybe that could be my part of the read. I could just say, not the ampersand.
You could.
I have learned to pronounce that. All right. A lot of film work going into this week. A lot of film work.
Okay.
Do I go first or how do
you go first. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, Grind. Here we go, baby. The Auburn Tigers.
Oh, wow. Goodness gracious.
Quickie client. Are on the road in Sanford Stadium.
Another Quickie client.
Quickie client.
Yeah.
Quick U versus Quick U.
Yeah. It's where the similarities stop.
And the Dogs are 30-point favorites. 30 freaking point favorites.
You're not about to say what I think you're about to say.
They're 30-point favorites.
30-point favorites.
And Neal?
You be careful before you say these words. These are big words.
And Neal, it's too much.
Oh.
I'm taking the Auburn Tigers plus 30.
Dun, 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 dun,
I can sing it for you if you want me to.
Dun,
I know like two fight songs. That's the one I know.
Dun, dun, dun,
Look, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, I will say this. Did you see the Brendan, is it Collins? What are the kid, the center's name? He went out talking shit in the press conference.
Yeah.
Like, I will say this. They're not scared, and they're still playing hard. Give me 14 points somehow. I don't care if it's block kick. I don't care if it's run back kick. I don't care if it's a scoop and score. I don't care what it is. I need 14 points
To stay
from the
within
Auburn
30.
Tigers to stay within 30.
Okay. Because you think Georgia's going to get into the low 40s?
I think they're 40-ish.
Okay.
All right. But here's the problem with Georgia. Watching Georgia really game film this week and last couple of weeks, McIntosh is like the only real dude they have back there. Milton's a shell of himself since he was a freshman. I mean, he's gotten actually worse. And Georgia's getting really cute on the perimeter. Georgia's trying to do all these perimeter zone stretch and all this stuff and yada, yada, yada. And that's really not their game. And they finally, like, when they were down against Missouri the other day, they said, okay, we're going to start running it right at your ass. And they put McIntosh back there, and they started running that, and that's where they started hitting big plays. But they're doing too much, like, a little cute on the outside. I think running it at Auburn actually will help slow the game down because I do think Auburn can stop the run a little bit.
Yep.
So I'm taking I'm just taking them plus 30. Give me 14 points. I don't care how you get it. I'm looking for 14 points. It's a rivalry game. And ironically, this game, and it used to when I was there, I can't speak for who's there now, but when I was at Auburn, this game was more important to the Auburn players than the actual Alabama game was.
Mm-hmm.
And so
when I was covering Auburn, Auburn had so many Georgia kids, and this game meant so much.
This was the game.
That sometimes the Iron Bowl 7 days later was hard for some of those kids to get back up for.
Yeah. So this was the game growing up. Just somehow keep me within 30 points. That's a lot of points in this game. I'm taking the Tigers plus 30.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I have learned when I'm in crisis mode to get into the Big Ten.
Okay.
Okay. Indiana's a quick U client.
They are. Don't do it.
They're getting 22.5 points at home against the Michigan Wolverines. 22.5, Tyler. But you know what, Tyler?
It's too much.
It's not enough. It's not enough. Give me Michigan. The Wolverines keep on rolling. They're the team that nobody's talking about as a national title contender, and we maybe should. They look really good. Michigan minus 22.5 at Indiana.
What time's that game? Do you know? 11 o'clock?
I think it's at 11 a.m. Most of the big games are.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. It's one of those shows, if we were live somewhere getting tomatoes and beer thrown at us. Love them 11 a.m. games. Speaking of 11 a.m. games.
I'm trying not to talk about it anymore. I need to shut up.
Dude, I'm trying to listen to you.
It's 11 a.m. Michigan.
I was joking, by the way.
Indiana.
I was trying to catch back up on your shows this week, you know?
Yep.
And it's like every 5 minutes y'all feel like you have to talk about the people are freaking pissed off about the 11 a.m.
They
calls.
are.
All right.
You never know chicken tenders meant so much, did you?
Speaking of,
Yep.
there's a game, Neal, Saturday.
Yeah.
At about 3 o'clock, I think, 3 or 4 o'clock,
Oh,
in Nashville, Tennessee.
Tennessee State?
No. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Belmont?
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, Ole Miss is in Nashville.
They're going to Nashville this weekend.
How about that?
They're playing the Commodores.
Okay.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clark Lee,
Clark Lee,
the world's most handsome man.
your brother from another mother, is taking on the Rebels.
All right.
I've really done a lot of thinking about this game. I really like this game. My favorite picks of the week. Can I say picks? Picks of the
You
week.
can do whatever you want to do. You about to use up 2 of your picks right
I'm
now?
going to use 2 of them.
Okay.
I'm taking Ole Miss minus 17 on the road at Vanderbilt. And
Okay.
I'm also in the same game. So pick number 2
Okay.
and pick number 3 is I'm taking the under at 62.
Oh, I like that.
All right. And here, let me
Go.
tell me how I got to it.
It's your show too.
All right. Look, if we're going to take Ole Miss serious as a serious contender, do you know what serious teams do? They go on the
handle
road
business
in games like this and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Okay? I think they're there. I think this is their shot. Okay? You want to be serious? Here's your shot. I don't want to hear another damn word if they win the game by 3 points. Don't want to hear it. If they want to be serious and be a serious contender, that's what serious teams do. You go to Vandy and you beat the shit out of Vandy.
And you do it early.
And you do it early.
And you get
Vanderbilt is inept on defense. Clark Lee, great guy, good scheme. They're inept
Sure.
on defense. Ole Miss is too talented on offense. They can turn around and hand the ball off and go score as many times as they want to. This should look like, to me, in my eyes, this should look like a Georgia Tech game. I think Vanderbilt's going to have a very tough time scoring points. All right, so let's look at this. The reason I like these two bets is I think that's what hits. But there's no scenario. I don't see any scenario where Ole Miss doesn't cover the points and it goes over at the same time. If I lose on one, I'll split with them. Does that make sense? So, like, if it's I think they have to score 35 points, dude. I'm talking about Ole Miss.
I think so.
I think that's a floor.
Yeah,
I think it's a floor.
I think they get into the low 40s.
Yeah. So if it's 40, I don't see any way that Vanderbilt scores 20 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I like the Ole Miss covering. Like,
I had 42-17, so I had it under. Yeah. And that's fairly
under.
high scoring.
Yeah, that's a lot of
points. That's giving Vanderbilt more points than they might get.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a tough time against this defense. I think Vanderbilt's going to have a tough time scoring, but I just like both bets, and I don't see any scenario where both of them don't hit. Maybe one doesn't hit, but I'll split it worse.
Okay. So it's my turn to go twice?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten. Wisconsin fired their coach on Sunday. Did you see that?
I heard.
Yep. Said that they just kind of weren't organized. They weren't all pulling in the same direction. I've noticed something about, with the exception of one, something kind of happens when you coach gets fired middle of the year. It's a real quick little bounce back. Everybody rallies. That's a lot of hurt feelings. Wisconsin's going to Evanston, Illinois to play a really bad football team. And they're only laying 10 points. It's nowhere close to enough. Wisconsin big at Evanston. Wisconsin minus 10 over Northwestern.
You want me to go ahead since this is...
No, I was waiting for you to comment. I was going to make you
I'm going to go ahead and save the drama. I'll let you go two more in a row.
Okay.
My fourth pick is the Wisconsin Badgers minus 10 against Northwestern. Here's why.
Okay.
Barry Alvarez is the AD. He's been a coach before.
Yes.
Very successful coach. Why do you fire a coach in the middle of the season if you're a coach? If you're a coach AD?
Because you know it's about the coach. They're losing because of the coach.
What's the other reason? You're correct. What's the reason number two?
You feel like there's someone on the staff who can fix what's happening.
Bingo. There's someone on the staff that you want to be the head football coach.
Jim Leonard.
Why would you do that before the Northwestern game?
To give him an opportunity to get started with the win, because you want the momentum to start building for him so that people will stop talking so much about Lance Leipold.
Boom.
Yes.
And I think this is a blowout of all blowouts.
I do too.
I think it's free money.
I do too.
Taking Wisconsin minus 10 at Northwestern. So you got two more to pick in a row.
All right. Going to get out of the Big Ten for a minute. I might come back to the Big Ten, but I'm going to get out for a minute. I'm going to go to the Big 12. A program that does not get enough credit nationally, for whatever reason, is the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Like it.
I think Oklahoma State, you're talking about Ole Miss being real? I'm getting there. Got to see a little more. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I'm okay. I'm considering it. And before the season, I was not considering it.
I was. Just want to put that on record.
You were.
If y'all tear me off for being wrong,
but a team that I thought was real before the season, and I now believe they're really real, is the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and I got no problems at all laying 9.5 in Stillwater against Texas Tech. None, zero. I have no issues whatsoever. I think this is a blowout.
That is a good pick, my friend. I have that down on my list to pick from. I agree with you. You know, Texas Tech, they're better. They're doing a good job. I feel bad. Like, Matt Wells did a really good job building that team. He kind of got the shaft there. But they're doing a good job. He did a good job assembling talent.
Sure, no, they're good.
But it's not going to be enough.
No, they're good. They're good. They're fine. But Oklahoma State is a lot better than fine.
And
you know what else Oklahoma State is? Oklahoma State's a little salty. They got a little stuff going because people don't talk about them. I've been doing this thing about Ole Miss, right? First it was 18, and now it's 19. Ole Miss is 16-3 in their last 19 games. Okay. That's really damn good.
They're if they win this one, they'll be 17 and
17 and 3 in their last 20 if
they'll
they
be
win.
18 and 3.
So, but Oklahoma State is one of 4 teams nationally that can look down on Ole Miss. 4. Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State and Oklahoma State.
What is their Oklahoma State's number?
If they beat Texas Tech, they'll be 18 and 2 in their last 20
No
games.
shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Who were the 2?
They lost to Baylor in the Big 12 title game on the last play.
Yep. Were they undefeated when that happened?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm sure
they must have been undefeated.
Probably Oklahoma somewhere.
Probably, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That's impressive.
It really is. 20 games?
Yeah.
You've coached 20 games. Hey, coach, you can win 18 of your next 20 in. I mean, how many
in wherever I'm located?
I mean, how many coaches say no to that? Maybe like 2? Right now today in the country, 2?
No. I don't know if they say it because if you're in those 2 programs, if you lose one, you're probably still in.
I mean, it's remarkable, and they don't get credit for it. And Oklahoma's going to the SEC, and they're a little salty about that. And by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, I love Oklahoma State and Bedlam this year. Love it. They're going to beat Oklahoma's ass. I love this game.
I like it. All right, you got one more pick.
So this is my 4th one. Is that right?
You're coming up on your 4th.
Okay. So I've got Michigan so far. I've got Wisconsin, and I've got Oklahoma State. Trying to decide on a couple of big lines here. Trying to decide if I want to get into the 20s on laying points. It's been erratic for me so far this year. But you know what? I'll do it.
Well, you're not going to pick on my boys again, are you?
Who are your boys?
Sparties?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm going to go – actually, I'm going to save that for a minute. I'm going to go back into the Big Ten. The Big Ten's been really good to me so far this year.
Yeah.
Maryland has been good to me a couple times. And so I'm going to spit on them right now. Give me Purdue at Maryland getting 3 points. I want the points in what I think is going to be a really close game. Purdue plus 3 at Maryland.
All right.
2 pretty solid teams. I kind of think Purdue is due a little.
Okay. I like that pick. All right. We made my 5th pick, Neal. We made the FIU Panthers the Quick U team of the week this past
I saw that. Saw that earlier.
Big win for my man Mike Mack on the road. Beat New Mexico State down in Las Cruces.
Yeah.
It was a big week. They had to dodge the hurricane. They had to practice all, and it rained on them the whole time. They got out there early, the whole deal. So big win for Mike Mack.
Yep.
Mike Mack and my boys are hosting UConn this week.
The Huskies.
The Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky look. Got to call a spade a spade. UConn, a little bit better than what everybody gave them credit for. They beat Fresno last week.
They did.
UConn is 5.5-point favorites going to FIU.
Yeah.
It's not enough,
oh my
unfortunately.
Goodness.
Yeah.
You know, they might be listening to the show.
They probably are.
All right.
I'm taking UConn minus 5.5. I'll be more than happy to lose that pick. UConn's I think UConn's a little ahead. Mike Mack, look, don't be sleeping. Mike Mack's doing a good job recruiting. He'll get his guys there. Year 1, not there yet, but I'm taking UConn minus 5.5 at FIU.
All right. I have a feeling most people in the thread are cheering for me. I just choose to believe that.
They are. Grind is just totally freaking turned on me.
So I'm gonna throw some of the games that I'm thinking about out here and get some quick response from the people.
You gonna poll for your last pick?
A little bit.
Or your 5th pick?
One of the games I'm thinking about is Tulsa, minus 5.5 at Navy.
Okay.
Tulsa's good.
Yeah.
Solid team. Navy is not good. I think Tulsa could run them. The line's a little big, but I know somebody's auditioning right now. Somebody needs to make sure this guy who's kind of disappeared off Twitter lately.
Hey, would this game be somewhere in the Boston area?
This game in Amherst, Massachusetts. I kind of like Liberty minus 24.5 because I know somebody who really wants to impress right now. And then the other one, this is the other one, Cincinnati is in Tampa playing South Florida, who is awful. How are they so bad?
Dude, my boys at Cincinnati now.
They're good. The line's a little big, 27.5. It's a little high. Frankly, I like all 3 games.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to pick.
Oh, Grind will definitely help you because Grind is totally turned on me this week. I mean, Grind is just. I mean, he's off the. He's a bandwagon. He's off the bandwagon.
It's Tulsa -5.5 in Annapolis, Liberty -24.5 in Amherst, or the Bearcats -27.5 in South Florida. All right, Grind has eliminated South Florida. That was the one I was eliminating too. Watch Cincinnati win by 48 points. But 27.5 is a bunch.
You know what you want to do? Just go ahead and do it.
I kind of do.
You know what you want to do? Just go ahead and do it.
It's just such a big number.
You know what you want to do? Go ahead and do it.
It's just such a big number.
It's too good podcast material for you to not take that pick. Do it for the
pod.
pod.
But I want to win.
Huh?
I'm in it to win it.
Just do it for the pod, man. I took one for the pod today.
All right, I'll do it. Give me the Liberty Flames.
Put it on. Let's go. Does it fit?
Doesn't fit. My head's too big. Give me the Liberty Flames -24.5 at UMass.
That's signed, huh?
He says, "Dear Neal, I'm so sorry about what I said in 2016. Please forgive me. I know it created hell in Oxford for you and your family for the better part of a year. If I had a do-over, I would have listened to other people. I didn't. I paid for it.
You're wrong.
You got the last laugh. Hugh Freeze."
Yeah. 100% chance of snow in Auburn, Alabama about December 5th.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, it's money line time.
It's money line time. All right, I'm taking my money line serious this week. I'm not coming here taking freaking, Texas A&M to beat Alabama.
Your pick last week wasn't as bad as. There was a moment there that I was like, "Oh my!"
I was getting
God.
my eyes drilled out by people until about the third quarter, and they're like, "Oh shit! Oh yeah."
That game got weird.
But I'm taking it a little bit serious this week. I actually went and really broke down the games I thought underdogs had a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned these people earlier, Neal.
Okay.
The Purdue Boilermakers are going to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think Purdue's a legit team. They should have beaten Penn State. They had a colossal errors in that game. And then they had a colossal errors at the Syracuse game. And they went to Minnesota last week and dominated that game from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Talia is really distracted. I mean, he even went so far to say he didn't even want to play in the game the other day because of his brother getting hurt. They're feeling themselves a little bit. But, look, I think Purdue, I like their toughness. I like what they do on offense. I like Purdue at plus 130 to go into Maryland and win this game. I think it's the best underdog winning pick out there for me, what I saw. So I'm taking Purdue plus 130 at Maryland.
Okay.
That's my money line. So my 5, before you go your money line, my 5s, I'm taking Auburn plus 30 at Georgia. I'm taking Ole Miss -17. I'm also taking the Ole Miss Vandy under at 62. I'm taking Wisconsin -10 at Northwestern. I'm taking UConn -5.5 at FIU. And my money line pick is Purdue plus 130.
Oh. Okay.
So those are my 5, or my 6, actually.
All right.
Yep, 6.
So my decision here is, do I go on a big play, roll the dice, or do I kind of go safe? And you went safe.
I told you, I'm done bullshitting. I'm ready to go get back to winning.
Done bullshitting, back to winning.
Yep.
So I've got 4 games that I'm thinking about. Okay. Got 4. I'm looking up the reason I'm pausing.
Money lines?
I'm looking for the fresh money line. One that I'm thinking about is Western Kentucky at UTSA.
Okay.
It's plus 210 with the Hilltoppers. They're playing really well, very confident.
I would have liked that better if they had beaten Troy, but Troy drug them.
Another one that I'm thinking about that's a very conservative play, and this is the one I'm leaning towards. I think BYU is a good team. They're going conservative. They're going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, not so hot. BYU, big physical team. They'll be jacked up to play there. I like that one a little bit, but it's only plus 155. I think KJ Jefferson's going to play. And if he does, I think that game is a lot closer than a 9.5-point line, and you're giving me a plus 260 money line.
What you gonna do?
Not bad. And then the other one that I think about, this is the big swing for the fences.
Oh,
I like Washington State.
dude.
And
I looked at it.
And they're physical.
You're not crazy.
They're physical. Now, can they hang with USC for 4 quarters? Because USC can explode play, beat you. But they can beat USC at the line of scrimmage because USC is not very good at the line of scrimmage.
Dude, Washington State is good.
They're good. And so I've decided, you know what? You only live once.
Okay.
And the 2 that I came down to were Arkansas and Washington State. And I don't trust Arkansas's defense against – forget KJ for a minute. Like, Arkansas brought a wide receiver over the corner, and the kid said, I'll do it. You promise me I can move back to wide receiver? They're like, if you want to, yeah. You're getting really deep into the depth chart there.
Yeah.
I've covered that before. It doesn't work. Give me the Cougars, Washington State.
Dude, I don't.
At USC.
I don't dislike that. I like that a lot.
Plus 350.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I like that a lot. I looked at that one. The only thing I didn't take that as it was at USC, but like I've watched them both play twice. Well, actually USC 3 times. Washington State's like, dude, they're good. Like people are sleeping on Washington State.
Yeah.
Dude, they're good.
They're good.
So, they should have beaten Oregon, but they didn't, Let's talk real quick before we get out of here today.
Okay.
The other games that I liked that I didn't pick on that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Dude, I like Duke -3 at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I like that too.
Like I'm talking about stuff I'm going to do personally.
Yeah,
as
I
well
like
on
that
top
too.
of what we can
Mm-hmm.
bet.
Yep.
I like Duke -3 at Georgia Tech. All right. Alabama -24 against A&M at home. I'm telling you right now, personally, I don't give a shit who's playing quarterback at Alabama.
Okay.
I'm laying the points with Alabama.
All right.
I think this is going to be. Oh, did I tell you what the result of that Texas A&M thing was? By the way, the pissed off at Texas A&M thing when I was there.
No.
So we go out there,
Yeah.
and we beat them. We had 21-point lead, and they ended up scoring like they tried to backdoor, but we still covered. But they ended up beating them by 14 or whatever. He was still pissed. Just so everyone knows, he was still pissed the next year. Still pissed.
Mm-hmm. And y'all skull drunk
We beat them 59-0.
Yeah.
Like
it took that to settle him down.
Yeah, and he was good after that.
Yeah.
But and just so everybody knows, when we got beat 63-7 here at Ole Miss, he was still pissed about the 2 losses to Ole Miss from a previous coach. I mean, like he legitly.
Yeah. No, I get it.
He doesn't forget shit.
I get it.
I like Alabama big in that game. I like Florida -11
I do too.
Against Missouri at home.
I do too. It's just a sleepy spot for Mizzou. 2 tough games early on the road.
This one's probably going to surprise you here.
Okay.
I like LSU at home versus Tennessee.
Oh.
And why?
I mean, I get it. It's LSU at home. Forget the 11 o'clock crap. That place is going to be rowdy.
Dude, yeah. But here's why. Tennessee may be looking – they know what's coming next weekend.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, if they overlook LSU looking ahead to Bama, I'm going to start questioning Josh Heupel.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they will, but it's got to be on your mind a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're setting up a big game.
Yeah. This is big.
LSU at home is really good.
Yeah.
And then if you see what Tennessee did against Pitt, dude, they had a chance to – I mean, it's Pitt, dude, and they had a chance to – and it was a raucous environment, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Dude, they had nothing what they're about to go see. I don't care if they played the game at 7 a.m.
Everybody keeps talking about how bad Arkansas's defense is, and make no mistake, it is bad. But statistically, Tennessee's is right there with Arkansas. They're bad too.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think because everybody's jumping on Tennessee train. I like LSU. I'm always going to take, just me personally, if LSU's an underdog at home, I'm going to take them.
Okay.
They cover more than they don't. All right, and you brought it up. The Arkansas plus 9.5 at Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's a big number.
Big number. If KJ's playing, and I find out that he is playing, and it's still for somehow reason at 9.5, I'm taking Arkansas to 9.5. Look, they're going to be competitive, dude. I'm not saying Mississippi State's going to lose, but they're a competitive, tough, mentally tough team. They
We're going
can
to
run.
find out a little. They're now look. The thing about Arkansas is that we are putting a lot of stock into that A&M game. They could have easily won it. That's Sam's job this week, is that he's got to get his kids to get over that game.
Yeah, I think he's good at that. You know
He's
what I'm saying?
got it. They got to move on.
I think they're a competitive, tough team. And, the thing I think about, you're always like, well, Arkansas secondary is not very good. But State
doesn't play that kind of game.
They don't play the vertical game.
Right. All you got to do against, frankly, a game like this with Arkansas, it's make sure that your guys play their principles.
And I don't know if I'm sure you did because you listened to it. I thought Sam gave a couple clues away a little bit this week about going back to some 3-down stuff.
Yeah. They're going to drop 8.
Yeah. And that's what they haven't done that this year. And that was when they were really good on defense. You can hide some things. When you play that deal, you create so much pressure and the looks and everything else. I kind of like Arkansas 9.5.
I don't hate Arkansas straight up in that one. If Jefferson
playing,
plays,
I mean, it probably gets good. What was the money line on that one? Did you say
260?
Yeah, I mean that's good odds for sure. And then the South Carolina -6 versus Kentucky.
It's +6.
+6. I'm sorry, South Carolina +6 to Kentucky. Kentucky is going to run the football. Now, especially got the running back with Levis deal going on and what they did. I think they I think they respond a little bit. If it's still at 6, I may take Kentucky anyway at home. I kind of like them to cover that game.
We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. We will be back on Monday with another edition of McCready and Siskey. We'll look at how we did. We'll start talking about the games for next week.
Got some good national games next week.
Yeah, got a lot going on next week. USC, Utah.
Penn State, Michigan, I think.
Yeah, Tennessee, Alabama.
Yeah.
In Knoxville. So there's a bunch that we'll talk about. So we'll get into all of that on Monday, and we'll see what else comes up. I'm sure it's college football. There will be a storyline that we are not thinking of today.
Somebody will get fired Sunday.
Somebody, yeah, could, maybe. Could impact what happens here, but I don't think so. But you never know.
You never know. I doubt it.
I doubt it, too. All right, for Tyler Siskey, I'm Neal McCready. Thanks to all of you for being in the stream with us. Don't forget Pete's Pigskin Preview coming up at 4. The hand raise guys tonight at 7 with Chase coming in here. So we'll be with you for a while. Butcher versus Spin Instructor, all that stuff here on the network. Again, thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you soon.